Okay, so as you can see, we have a lot of issues going on with our wall here. So right now, I'm gonna give you all the tips and tricks to make all this ugliness go away. A lot of things can happen in the home, especially when you're talking about drywall. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is take out any hardware that is still in the wall. Now, a big common one are these little plastic wall anchors. So usually there's a screw in the middle of this wall anchor. You want to take that out. Once it's out, just simply take a pair of pliers, grab the edge of it, and pull it out, just like that. Now for other holes, whether it be dents, big holes, or scratches, obviously there's no hardware. So step 2 is we want to get rid of any loose material on the wall. All you need is a scraper, and what you want to do is you just want to go back and forth on the wall, just like that, and remove any loose or chipping material. The next thing you're going to need, obviously, is some drywall mud. Now, there's a lot of different products out there, but I love this stuff, Drydex. What's really cool about this product, as you can see, it's actually pink. But when it dries, it turns white, so it's telling you when it's ready to sand. First thing we're gonna do, for smaller holes, just take the corner of your trowel, take a little mud. You want to push it into the area where the hole is. And when you press it, you wanna go back and forth in different directions. Just like that. Now, when you get to larger holes, it's the same thing that applies. The only difference here is you may need to go back a second time and apply more mud. With a hole like this, you can either take some fiberglass mesh tape. You're gonna go over the whole hole a couple times, go a little bit larger than the hole. So this is one option. Another option, and I use these a lot, especially for where doorknobs make holes in the wall. It has the fiberglass mesh tape, but it also has a piece of aluminum backing it. So it really adds a support structure, and it's sticky on the back. So you simply place it over the repair area and press it on. You just want to get a little bit of mud on there and bring it out a little bit farther than the patch. Once it dries clear, you're going to come back a second time and put a second coat so that you don't see any of the material that patched it. All right, so as you can see, it's turned white, which with this material, it's telling you that it's dry and ready to go. Now, one trick a lot of people don't know is drywall mud is water soluble even when it dries. So if you're just doing a really small repair like a nail hole or something, if you just tape a damp rag and you wipe it around, it's gonna start to dissolve. And once you start to see the edges start to soften, that's as far as you want to go. Now for larger areas, same thing. There's some material under here, the hole and the patching material. You don't wanna go too deep through the patch because then you'll begin to see it. So what I like to do is I start on the outside. We're gonna sand those edges. Don't sand too much, because if you do, you're just gonna end up having to put mud on again. Once it's nice and flat like that, take your damp rag, again, rub around the edges. This is gonna get rid of any of the material around the edges, and then just lightly over the surface. So you can see the patch is very, very smooth compared to the rest of the wall that has this very light texture. The reason why it has a texture was from the original paint roller. So when you go to paint your patch, don't use a paintbrush because you're gonna see it. Use a little mini roller like this. Put the heavy, you can see already it's creating the same texture as the rest of the wall. Even though the patch is painted, because this is new paint compared to maybe an old paint that's been on the wall for a while, even if it dries, you're gonna see a difference. So the next thing is you're gonna wanna do, after you paint it, go from the outside of your patch and roll your roller out, and you just want to feather it with light strokes. As you can see, as it starts to fade out, there's less and less paint on the wall. Once it dries, you'll never know it was there. For step-by-step instructions, go to designingspaces.tv.